Hey everyone, I'm Elizabeth White, and I welcome you all back to Liz's Room. Today's guest is a Philly native who has an oh so amazing singing voice that you can keep on repeat. He also played the lovable Jamal on the hit Netflix series On My Block, had roles in shows such as When They See Us, Law and Order SVU, Chicago PD, and currently voicing Dal on Paramount Plus's Star Trek Prodigy. I welcome you all, the handsome and extremely talented Brett Gray.
Oh, handsome. Thank you.
I thank you for being here with me today. You acted in your first school play at the age of 6 and went on to be in one of Netflix's most popular shows, On My Block, which actually ended up being your first lead role in a show. So I would love to know, did you ever, know you would get to that point? And did you have any mentors along the way to help you? And what was that process for you?
Yeah, I had no idea that that would happen at all. I feel like I don't know, so I started like theater, like basically like the arts when I was very young. My mom put me in like after school programs and summer camps and weekend programs. And I was always like an acting major with a minor in dance and a minor in vocal. And we had to take electives. So it was like they had like Vita Sa'ana, which is like African martial arts, or like tap, or just other different specialized skills. I had tap for the first 2 years, and then I switched to like, I don't know, painting or something like that. And then I always grew up in like private schools, so we had lots of resources for like art class, and I had like band in school. I played the clarinet for like 4 years. So I was always very like artistically inclined. So I got like a very wide array of like, introduction to all of the arts. Like one of the things my teachers would always stress to me was that, like, none of this is guaranteed. Like you have to do this because you love this, and it's sort of like a thing that's passionate for you. So no, I had no idea that I would get a show. You know what? I'm lying. I knew I would get a show or something, but I didn't know it would be this early. So that was awesome. But yeah, no, I think most of the people I know kind of like come into this like not expecting anything, and sort of like learn that the people who like unfortunately have to give up are the ones that not like don't seem to understand that it's sort of like a waiting game. It could be 20 years old, and then I know actors and actresses that are 40 years old, and I feel so heavily for them because I didn't have to wait that long, and so I feel like lucky and privileged for that. Um but it doesn't really matter when the timing is. It's just all about like if you can continue, as long as you can continue. And I did have mentors, all of my teachers growing up, like in my classes, and then I'd meet people along the way who were a little bit older than me, and would give me tips on like how to tape my auditions, or where I should be focusing my attention. I went to this acting school in New York called the Barrow Group, like right out of high school. It's this conservatory kind of training program in New York City. And the artistic directors there, Lee Brock and Seth Barish, were like super instrumental in like helping me figure things out. I would come to them with auditions and just ideas, and they would sort of like help me, learn how to present myself, and maybe where I might fit best in terms of like, what to audition for, or casting directors to be looking at, and you know keeping my performances tight and stuff like that. So that
So
was very long-winded.
that is thorough,
It was very thorough.
very thorough. But I feel like you have so much range when it comes to your acting. And, we've seen you play a serious role in Law and Order SVU and When They See Us,
Mhm,
but we also see a quirky, funny side of you when you play Jamont on My Block. So,
mhm.
is there like a certain genre you would say you had a hard time adapting to more? And if so, what is the process for getting into character and ready for a role?
No, like, so I don't really know. Like, I know, like, my teachers would always tell me, like, it's very important to show range and versatility. And, like, you want people to know that, you have sort of the technique to do everything. I've sort of never given it too much thought. I don't really like read a script and like, up, this one's a drama, can't do this one, or up, this one's a comedy. That one, that means it's mine. Or, I sort of just like, it depends on the characters and the script, and whatever the character needs and whatever the story is, like I'm supposed to be in service of the story as the character. So with Jamal, that was my first comedy. I've never done a comedy
Really?
before that. So I actually got to have a lot more fun in that role. Like I got to do very fun things, and my scenes were very exciting and sometimes nerve-wracking to do because I was, when you put yourself out there in a way that's comedic, sometimes you're not taken as seriously. So that's always in the back of my mind, like how much, like how far I'll go to be funny. Little things like that, just so that like I can stretch and do the dramatic roles if I feel like I need to, and that, casting directors and regular directors and even, the audience members can see me like that. Cause it's kind of scary to think like, you can get stuck in a way people view you. So that was kind of new to me, learning more of the industry. Because in acting class, you're in a comedy one day, you're in a drama the next day, you're doing scenes, and you might be playing Romeo, and then the next day you're the friar, and then next week you're playing just anything. It's in class you're allowed to do anything and be any character as long as you can like find some sort of connective tissue to the role. So I guess that's what I look for, is like connective tissue to the role. Does this person relate to me? Do I think this story is important to tell? And can I tell it? Like, would it be believable for an audience member to see me as this role? So, like, if someone's like, hey, Brett, we have a role for you to play like a hardened ex-military cop and you're, 33, I wouldn't necessarily go in for that, or I'd be thankful for the opportunity, but I would probably pass because no person is monolithic in that way. And so I kind of hate the notion of like, do you do comedy or drama? Because it's like, well, I'm an actor. So whatever, as long as I'm playing a human. Well, that's not true because I played an alien too.
Yeah.
It's prosthetics. Whatever, I'll jump into whatever. And if you can believe it, then I will do it.
You're not only amazing in front of the camera, but you're also amazing behind a mic. And,
Mm,
my favorite song of yours, which I wish you would put out, on platforms, is Boundaries.
of
And
course.
when I hear you sing it live, I don't even know like what words to describe it, but I just want to know, like, did acting help you open the door to like, starting your music journey? Or, has this passion, well, I guess this passion's always been in you because you said you went, you started in school, but has acting
Hmm.
opened the door for you to push yourself out more to let the world see your singing abilities?
It's hard. I feel like acting has actually probably hurt me
Really?
from music. Yeah, because I started both of them at the same time. Like the first project I ever made and worked on was totally for fun. Like there was no, commercial expectation for me. I was just kind of like having fun and learning, because I'd always been a singer, but I'd never been an artist, so figuring out what stories I wanted to tell and what sounds, I wanted to experiment with was really fun. And so I put this the project out like around the same time, or maybe a little bit before the show came out. So um, whenever you're on something that's like marketed globally
Yeah.
on like a platform, it can kind of, overpower anything that you're trying to do. So
You would think it would help you more though, because people like say they love your a character you play, right? And they're gonna go look
mhm.
for stuff on you online about it, and then they can find your music. Does that not like
Totally. I think so, right? Like I don't know. I think that's how it works. Like I'm pretty sure lots of people who have discovered my music are probably because they've dug deeper from discovering me in other ways. But I don't know. I've gotten both. Like I've gotten like, wow, you do both, and I've also gotten like pushback of like I can't unsee. Either way, I'm just gonna keep doing everything I want to do, and like if you get it, you get it.
well, I feel like when people do hear your music, especially live, they can't help but feel, all these emotions behind your songs. So, you have a true gift. And I
Thank
just want
you.
to, what is something you want your fans to take away when they hear your music?
That I guess that I'm a person. Like, boundaries specifically is sort of about that idea of like, hey, like where are we going with this? Like, just so you guys know, like I'm not becoming this entity. There's no, as much as there's like, we all have our own brands and things and whatever, like, underneath it all that, there's still things that we want to protect and keep sacred. And I just hope the people get from my music that, there's a vulnerable side and deeper side to myself and also a fun, playful side. And, I want people to be able to, I guess, connect with me when I'm singing. And so that was one of my favorite things about going on tour was because, for the first time, people got to see it live. And so, any doubts in your head or any thoughts you might have or any ways you might see me, or you kind of get to experience it in real life. And so, I didn't realize how fun and engaging and like, serious performing would come to me,
So
aside from all the like Hollywood.
a real important question is Boundaries ever gonna, you know, be recorded in a studio and put out?
The thing is, it's recorded in the studio. I have it right
Why
now.
is it not out?
It's not out because
I have to listen to the live version on my phone that I recorded. I'm like, just to like, oh, I'm in the mood. I gotta hear this,
you know what? It's coming out. Like it'll definitely come out. I feel like, the way the song is structured, it's maybe the intro to like larger ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm playing around with like making a little EP sort of around just, like my inner thoughts.
Yes.
Just to support Boundaries, but it'll definitely come out at some point.
Okay, well, I have a few lightning round questions for you. So
Okay.
think of the first thing that comes to your head when I ask, okay?
I'm shook.
Who do you text the most?
My mom.
Favorite place to shop for clothes?
The internet? Is that an answer?
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
So you have a whole free day. What are you doing?
Sleep, eat, skincare, self-care, hair routine, mani-pedi, TV, food, sleep.
Okay, what is something people would be surprised to know about you?
I am a really incredible whistler.
Can you whistle real quick? Okay, you got it. Yeah. Okay. Would you ever date a fan?
Yeah.
What's your favorite show to binge?
I guess like I like reality TV, like really like things I don't have to think about, like anything from like, baking competitions to like Too Hot to Handle, The Circle, Love is Blind, you know, Krishan and Blueface.
Everybody would watch that. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you weren't a musician or an actor, what would be your profession?
Oh my gosh, I would be worried. I can't sit still. I am too like inappropriate for any corporate situation. I don't like to be at a place for more than a few hours. I don't know what my profession. Maybe like a chef,
Okay.
like something I could have my headphones in and like go to rich people's houses and cook and
All right. What's the best piece of advice you have received in life?
It sounds cliche, but like don't worry about what other people think.
What's the worst piece of advice you got?
Worry about what other people think. Like stop this because they'll think that, or don't do this because just you have one time on this planet that I think we are cognizant of.
Name something you're absolutely afraid of.
I guess like letting my family down in some way, or like embarrassing my family or something.
So, what's your favorite place to take a vacation?
I went to Aspen last year. That was amazing. I'm going to Bali this year. Yeah, I don't really know anywhere with like great food and a very comfortable bed and climate control.
What is something you own that is priceless to you?
Wow. Something I own that is priceless to me. I am a like hoarder of Polaroids. I wish I could find. Hold on, let me see if I have. Oh yeah. So like, I basically like everywhere I go and everything I do, like I take a Polaroid picture. So like, I have just tons of them all over my house. Like literally, me and Ombre from tour, like SOBs, like so. Just like, there's all of them from like every event, every holiday, like I go take Polaroid pictures. So I have them all in a little box. So those, I guess, are like my memories. So priceless.
What is something you regret?
Not believing in myself sooner. I kind of wonder like if I knew what I knew now when I was like 17, like how crazy I could have gone.
If you can reboot any past show and star in it, what show would it be?
Oh, I feel like it'd be really fun to be on Martin.
Who would you play?
Like I don't know, just like Martin's nephew that moves in upstairs and has no business being in a business.
What is a favorite song of yours to perform live?
Boundaries.
Everybody. Okay. All right. Well, that's all of them. So before you go, I like to play a game with my guests. I need you to pick three.
Okay. G, B, and I'm gonna go with I.
Okay, so using those 3 letters, I need you to find 3 words of advice you would tell your 16-year-old self, and then say why you picked those words.
B. What did I say? G.
B, B,
B.
I.
I.
Let's start with G.
Go big, idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, I chose those because you got to think big.
Thank you so much for chatting with me. Please let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me online at Brett Gray on Instagram, and just Google Brett Gray or something.
Well, if you aren't following him, you're missing out. Make sure you catch up on all of Brett Gray's projects, and you can check out all his music, except for Boundaries, on all streaming platforms. I'm Elizabeth White. Until next time, I will see y'all again in Liz's room.